Good morning, matriculants. We're going to have a look at transactional writing again today. We're going to revise the friendly letter, the formal letter, and the email. These are short notes, so please do the exercises. It will only benefit you for the end of the year. Let's go. Let us start with the friendly letter. When you look to the right top of the page, you will see that you have your own address. You start with a number and then the street, and then a street name, and then whether it's lane or avenue or street or road or crescent. Then you have the suburb, the town, a postal code, and the date. Please note that the only punctuation used will be capital letters. You may skip a line, at least the very next line, your salutation, dear whoever. Then you have your paragraphs and you end off with love and your name. You do not need to write your surname. This is a friendly letter. The person who you are addressing it to knows who you are. So here's my example, and let's see what I expect from you. Exercise. Write a letter to your neighbor in which you briefly apologize for the previous weekend's noise at your house. Disclose the reason for this turn of events. Normally, the content of a letter should be 120 to 150 words, but for this exercise, it may be shorter. Please remember to write the heading and date in your creative writing script. When we look at the formal letter, whether you are writing to the press, whether you are complaining to a company, whether you are applying for a position, whether you are writing a formal letter of request to someone, the format stays the same. To the right top, you will again have your own address. Again, you start with the number, then the street name, and then whether it is a street, a lane, a road, or whatever. Suburb, town, postal code, date. Then the next line, not the same line. If you know the title of the person, the name of the person, at least the company, then you must have a second address. They normally do not give you one. You can make it up. No one is going to check. You must have an address, a town, and a postal code. You now skip a line and then you write, Dear Sir, or you write, Dear Madam. Skip a line. Now you have your topic sentence. You can either write it normally and underline it, or you can write it in capital letters, but then you do not underline. Up to here, there is no punctuation except capital letters. No commas, no full stops, no colons. So please make sure of that. Then you will please have your paragraphs and you will end off yours faithfully. You sign your letter and then you write your name in print. If you are a lady, you will please write Miss. If you are a married lady, it becomes Mrs. Boys, because we know you struggle to remember all of these, you can just write your name after you have made your signature. There is my example. Your exercise. Write a short letter to the Minister of Education in which you vent your feelings about the lost 2020 academic year. Normally, your letter body should be 120 to 150 words. For this exercise, it may be shorter. Or if you feel like letting rip with your emotions, you may write it a little bit longer. But please remember to write the heading and date in your creative writing script. Email. You must say to whom it is addressed, and that will be the email address. If you don't know it, you make it up. You must have the date and you must have a subject. Then you write your note, Dear whoever, and you write it in paragraph style and then you end it off. If it's a more formal email, so for example, you have to write to a radio station, then you will include regards and your name and surname, and then you may add contact details like a telephone number, a fax number, or a postal address. Otherwise, remember, you don't need to write your email address because it's already on the form when you send it. So that is not necessary. Your exercise. Write an email to a tertiary institution of your choice in which you inquire about your application status. The content is normally 80 to 100 words, but for this exercise, it may be shorter. Remember to write the date and heading in your creative writing script. Today I would like to end off with a beautiful part from Jeremiah 17, verses 7 to 8. But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought and never fails to bear fruit. Dear matriculants, always put your trust in the Lord. And whether you are going through a drought period like now, you will not lack greenery. You will not lack water. God will provide in every circumstance. Trust in him. Until we meet up again, whether it's at school or whether it is via the internet, please keep safe. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.